Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. I'd like to say thank you to Melody for having me over. I got a call from Melody last week. Would you like to speak? And I was like, of course, I would love to. And thank you to Henry Sir for giving such nice, welcoming words for myself. So today I'm going to be talking about investing for beginners. Now, before I get on to my PowerPoint presentation, a lot of people are like, oh, you need a lot of money to invest. And to be very honest with you, none of us come to this world with a bag full of our money. When you're born from our mother's womb, we don't bring billions and billions and pounds, dollars, euros. Am I right?
Yes.
Has anybody here ever brought money with them? Did you bring money with you when you were born?
No.
Did you bring money? Did you bring money?
No.
Nobody did. We all start from ground zero. Be it Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, most of the millionaires in this world, 66% of the millionaires in this world were millionaires from scratch. 66%. So take that number into account. Absorb that number, 66%. Are you going to be one of those 66% of the people?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to be talking about money, being money wise. What does money mean to a lot of people? This is more like an interactive session rather than just me talking about like a lecturer and just like going on with my PPT. This is more of an interactive session. What does money mean to you? What does money mean to you?
Everything. It means a lot.
It means a lot. So without money, would we be able to live a lifestyle here in this expensive city of London? No. So we all need money. Can anybody tell me what's the basic average wage, salary, monthly salary in the UK?
21,000.
It's below that.
£9.45 per hour.
Yeah, that's the minimum wage per hour, but in terms of average wage per month after tax? About 1,600 something, 1660, 1,700, 1,500. Now, in a city like London, is £1,500 enough? Some people say yes. Really? £1,500?
London is 1,700.
Okay, London is 1,700. Is 1,700 enough per month in London when the rent is about 1,000 a month?
No.
Not at all. And now we'll factor into kids' education, groceries, bills, rent, everything. Is that enough money? No. So, let's start. That's my background. Boring stuff, you can all Google me later, or I'll be more than happy to answer your questions at the end. These are the services that my company provides. So, as everybody's been mentioning, I'm quite the traveler. I have been traveling for the past 10 years. And in the last 10 years, one thing that I've observed is traveling opens up your mindset. When you meet interesting people, diverse group of people. I lived in China for 4 years, lived in Indonesia for about 6 months, lived in Pakistan, I've lived in Singapore, I've lived in Ireland, and I'm now here in the UK. So when you live and work with so many different people, you just automatically, the entrepreneurial mindset comes into play. Anywhere I go, I'm just like, if I do this, can I make this much money? So constantly my brain is in overdrive to make money. Why? Because money is everything. So we're going to talk about smart investments, financial growth, and financial freedom. Now financial freedom is a very, very important topic. And someone mentioned that that's my area of expertise. Well, I'll tell you why that's my area of expertise. Common myths. I get a lot of people that say to me, I don't have €1 million, dollars, pounds to invest. Has anybody here got €1 million, pounds, dollars, liquid cash?
No.
Nobody in this room? Million liquid? But do you need $1 million to invest? You don't need $1 million to invest, exactly. The stock market, is there anybody here who invests in the stock market? Very well done. Nice. Is it like a casino? No. Does anybody here have the mindset that stock market is like a casino? Has anybody here been to Las Vegas? No. Macau? I've been to both. And trust me, casinos are totally different than stock market. Stock market is calculated risk. Casinos are just basically for the fun, for the laugh. I was in Macau, which is very close to Hong Kong, back in 2017, and I lost 100 RMBs. Now, 100 RMBs is how much? $14. I was out of there. But I'm not losing any more money. It's not the fact that it was only $14, it was the fact that I was losing money. I don't like to lose money. So that's what casinos are. A lot of people say to me, I'm too young. A lot of my younger clients, when I was in China, I lived in China for 4.5 years. I had clients from 25-year-old to 35-year-olds. I don't have a lot of money, I don't have enough money, I'm barely able to survive. And they're paying £500 equivalent a month on their car payments. Does it make sense? They say, oh, I don't have money. Well, you're paying $500 for a depreciating asset, but you don't have £100 a month equivalent to invest, to build for your future. So that's the mistake that a lot of people do. You need to think about your future. Can anybody guess what was the age when Warren Buffett started to invest in stocks? His first stock, what age did he invest in? How old was he? 11. And even he said that that was a bit too late. I invested in my first stock when I was 18 years of age. 18. I still want to slap myself every day that I was a bit too late. I should have done it when I was maybe 12 or 13. The earlier you start, the better it is. And you need to spend money to save money. You need to spend. Educate yourself. Financial literacy. They don't teach us that in schools, unfortunately. Be it in India, be it in Pakistan, be it in Africa, be it in Nigeria, in the UK, in Europe, in the US, anywhere. They don't teach us financial literacy. But we have to be literate ourselves. So investments is basically using capital to acquire assets that offer the potential for profitable returns. And there are different types of asset classes: stocks, bonds, property, alternative investments, oil and gas, so on and so forth. One of the major ones is interest and dividends from savings. So we all have savings accounts. We invest in that. Then we have dividend paying stocks. So like Aviva is one prime example in the UK. That pays roughly about 7% per annum in dividends. Then we have cash flow from business. That is one that people should be focusing on, cash flow from business. Cash is king. Anyone who says that's not, don't listen to that person. So, different types of investment, these are not an exhaustive list. This is just basically some idea as to what you can talk about. High yield savings account, government bonds, corporate bonds, S&P 500 index funds, dividend stock funds. If I tell you today that you can become a millionaire by the age 50, 55, if you start investing at the age of 25, only in this, would you believe me? S&P 500 index funds. If you start investing at 25, by the time you're 55, 60, you'll become a millionaire. Show of hands will believe me. Mr. Henry will, because he's got the experience. Would you believe me? I'll tell you why. And then dividend stock funds. So that's smart. Save and invest more. How many people here are regular savers? Just one person? Just one person? 2 people? 3 people? Make retirement a priority. Is there anybody here considering their retirement? Sorry? Of course. Actively invest. How many people here actively invest? How many people here that recognize the need to diversify the portfolio? Diversification is the key. If you are following these footsteps, well done. And take financial planning and advice seriously. How many of you here have a financial advisor? You're not focusing on your investments, on your future. If it's just like, if you're not talking to a financial advisor at this age, if you've got a family, then you're doing something terribly wrong. Oh, but financial advisor charges a lot of money. Well, pay that consultation and get your books in order. Because otherwise you'll regret when you're in your 40s, in your 50s, definitely in your 60s. Millionaires. So I asked, Who here has £1,000,000, dollars, euros in liquid cash? Nobody. That's how they budget. So the millionaire math, 25% on needs. What are needs? Basic food, shelter, basic necessities, okay? If you've got clothes to wear, house to live in, and food on the table, trust me, you're richer than 60% of the world's population. 10% wants. Unfortunately, a lot of people focus on wants. They want the latest car, latest clothes, latest gadgets, but they don't focus on their future. 65% investing. Most people just don't simply invest. Most people fall under the everyday Joes category. They get a paycheck, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 2,000 pounds a month. What do? Fine dining in Mayfair. What do? Most expensive clothes. What do? The latest iPhone. iPhone 14 Pro Max, I must have that. I need to have that. Why? Oh, because someone else has it. That's the mindset. They're willing to pay £1,500 for an iPhone, the latest iPhone, but not £1,500 to educate themselves. And that's the mistake. But guess what? The schools, the society, the government wants us to be like that. Because they want us to be part of the herd system. They don't want you to leave that ecosystem. You're born, you go to school, you study your ass off, you learn, you get highest marks, you get a job, 9 to 5 in your miserable job, you come home, watch a bit of Netflix, have food, whatever, play with your kids if you have any, go to sleep. Next day, repeat. How many people here have a side hustle? Just one person. 2 people. So, do you feel that you can come out of that ecosystem? If you only have just your job? No. So, the everyday Joe, 55% needs, 40% on wants. That's your iPhone. That's your latest car. That's your latest watch. 5% on investing, and then they complain that they're poor. Bill Gates once said, if you're born poor, that's not your mistake. But if you die poor, whose mistake is that? Yours. Thank you so much. 50, 30, 20% rule. Does anybody know of this rule? Has anybody ever come across this on social media? Trust me, you're going to get all ads on your Instagram today after this event. 50% on needs. That's majority of the people. Housing, food, transportation, medical expenses, essential debt. 30% on wants. Restaurants, entertainment, vacations, luxury items, electronics. Some people say that I travel a lot. My mom says that all the time. I travel way too much. I'm going to talk about one thing afterwards and why I travel so much and the beauty of traveling, and you'll understand why I travel so much. 20% on savings and investments. For most people, it's 5-10%. 20% is a bit too low as well. If you can, try to bring that number up to 40-45%. Earlier the better. So Warren Buffett started at 11, I started at 18. Even if you start at age 20, I guess most of us are across that age of 20, if you start tomorrow, it's better than starting next year, or the year after, or 5 years down the line. And let me go through the maths. Oliver on the left started at 20. He invests $400 a month. How much is that per year? 400 a month. How much is that per year? 4,800. Yes? He gets an average return of 10% per year, yes? Because that's what the stock market of the US gives. About 9.6% per year. Average aggregate return over the last 50 years. Investment value when he's 60 years old is $2.5 million. So when I said at the start, about 10 minutes ago, if you start early, only on the S&P 500 index funds, at the age of 25, can you retire a millionaire?
Yeah.
For sure you can. John, on the other hand, starts 10 years later. Now we all have different responsibilities for sure, like, we have debts to pay, family obligations to meet, so on and so forth. So for some people it's very easy to say than done, or just invest 400 a month. That's a lot of money for most people. But this is just an example. Invest the same amount, 400 a month, 10 years later, and his value is only 900,000. Now, only 900,000? It's not a small amount of money, but guess what, guys? What's the UK's inflation rate at the moment? Sorry? 10.6%. It was highest at 11.5, thanks to the war, and then now it's roughly about 10.6%. So 10.6%. If you've got £100 today, next year, that's going to be worth how much? £90. Your money is losing value. 10%. So you need to be making more than 10% to even just beat inflation. It's a shit show out there. As we all experience, food is going up. Every time I walk into Tesco, things are going up. I love my ghee. Ghee in this country, not so long ago, was £3.50. Clarified butter for people who don't understand ghee. £3.50, roughly about 10 years ago, for half a kilo. Guess how much it is now? £8. 8 bloody pounds. Petrol. When I first started driving, 13 years ago, guess how much? Less than £1 a litre. I paid £2 a litre, £2, 3 pence a litre during the peak when we had the petrol crisis. From 90p to £2 a litre. By the time I have kids and they start driving, I have two options to give to my kids in the future. Either give them a car and they eat into my bank balance, I just kick them in the backside. But not in this country, of course, because I don't want to be sued. But that's the problem. We're living in a society, guys, where it's very, very hard. We're losing our money. So we need to start investing early. We need to be very serious about that. There's a huge difference. Would you rather have $2.5 million or $900,000? $2.5 million. Coronavirus, the beautiful virus that we had not so long ago. Did anybody here get COVID, by the way? Not trying to be insensitive here, but did anybody get COVID? One person. 2 people. 3 people. But guess what, guys? As a capitalist, there was one of the best opportunities in my lifetime that I've seen so far to invest. So for people who got COVID, my sympathies. But guess what, guys? As a capitalist, I'm here to make. These don't pay for themselves. You need to make money. That's why I'm saying be money wise. This is COVID. I got a call, I was in China at that time, I got a call from my dad. Are you investing? Did you buy those stocks? Did you buy those stocks? I'm like, Dad, I don't have as much as you. He said, I don't care how much you have. Invest. Start buying stocks. EasyJet. Has anybody here ever flown EasyJet? That orange beautiful airline? Amazing airline, guys. Used to be good. After COVID, one of the highest dividend paying stocks of EasyJet. But they have an issue with catering and everything, so their stock is taking a tank, but it's still a great stock to invest in. So, EasyJet was down from £16 to £2.80. From how much? £16 to? I went in at £8, £7, £6, £5, as low as £4. That is just one stock. So yes, COVID and everything, but it was a brilliant time to invest. Delta Airlines. I made 40% on Delta Airlines. I'm not going to tell you my number. 40% return on investment on Delta Airlines. I was speaking to an American, again I was in China that time, speaking to an American who works very closely with the American Chamber of Commerce. I'm like, this is the stock you should be all in. Delta Airlines. Why did airlines take a beating that time?
No one's flying.
No one's flying. Why? Because the governments are keeping us under control. It's disastrous virus. We should be at home, save lives. Of course, it was a deadly virus, but now, come 2 years later, are we talking about it? When was the last time anybody wore a mask? There we go. But is that opportunity going to come again? Well, I hope not, in terms of through a virus, but I do hope it comes from any other form, where I want to make 40%. If anybody had bought FTSE, which is the UK stock market, the index, it was down 33%. So you would have made easy 33% just by investing during the peak of COVID. When everybody was you should be like, boom. That's the easy way to beat your 10% inflation. Dow Jones, 29%. Nikkei in Japan, 27%. So if anybody didn't invest during COVID, learn, educate yourself, guys. Otherwise you lose out. S&P 500. After this, if none of you, if even some of you, go back home and start buying S&P 500 index funds, trust me, you're going to thank me later. S&P 500 is the aggregate of the top 500 companies in the US. In the last 5 years, it's up 54.88%. Annualized return of roughly 11%. Tell me some other investments in this country which are giving you a return of 11% per annum. In this country. Not India, not Bangladesh, not Africa. In the UK. Do you know any investment that gives me 11% per year? Take your time to think. Do you know any investment? Does anybody here?
Maybe brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar for sure. Manchester, yes, for sure. But that's a different topic. I can talk about that all day and all long. But any other investment? Traditional investments? 11% per year? Real estate, yes. But that's that. But what about entry fee for real estate? Can anybody go into it? Can you buy real estate at £100? You can? Are you talking about REITs?
Yeah.
There you go. This man knows his stuff. Let's have a meeting afterwards. Yes, REITs at £100 for sure. Anything else? But does the common man know about REITs? REITs are basically real estate investment trusts, and you can go in at from as low as £100 a month. Well done for bringing that up. S&P 500 guys, talk to your broker. Talk to your bank, they're all brokerage firms. Barclays, for example, has a brokerage house. HSBC has a brokerage house. Lloyds has a brokerage house. Look up for S&P index. SPDR is the index fund usually. Yes?
Just to mention, all of us in the UK, most of your banks have an investment option that you can just invest as little as £50 every month.
Exactly. Yes.
It's just in your account. All you just need, and they will help you invest it. Once you set it on a direct debit, they can be doing it for you. It's an option you have. It's a free option you have with most of all your high street banks.
There's certain fees that you have to pay, management fees, and just basically.
At the end is what?
But of course. But S&P, the reason I'm talking about S&P, 55%. Of course, it was because of COVID. But people who invested during this time made some money, guys. So all the traveling that everybody's talking about, this is what it pays. It's paid through this. And this, but this, because of investing in this. Make sense?
Yeah.
2018, 19, 2020 were amazing years for investing. 19 to 20, up. 2020 to 21, up. 21 to 22, up. The stock market was up 60% roughly. So 55, that's in the past 5 years, but go back 6 more months, we're talking about 60%. And guess what happens afterwards? Last year was horrible. I stayed away from stocks. I stayed away. The ones I had, I sold them. I didn't invest in anything new. Because the market was down. And we might see a downturn in the economy as well going forward in this year, and maybe see some recovery towards the latter half of next year. Age rule asset allocation. So everybody, you have pen and paper, 100 minus your current age. Write it down. Think of me as a professor or a school teacher. 100 minus your age, write that number down, please. And then see yourself which category you fall under. If you're in the 30s, 40s, 50s, I'll talk to you about what you should be focusing on. So whatever your age is, 100. Subtract that from 100. How many people are in the 30s? 70% should be on equities, on stocks, in funds, riskier investments. 30% should be in riskless investments. If you're in the 50s, why should you take less risk when you're older than when you're younger? Why do people take more risk when they're younger? So entrepreneurship is all about risk taking. Yes?
Because you have time to recover.
I feel like you should be doing this instead of me. Do you want to swap places? But that's precisely the answer. You have more time to recover. 2011, I lost 5,000 euros in one trade. ThyssenKrupp, you know, escalators in shopping centers? Stratford has them, I think. Westfield. It's a German company that manufactures elevators and escalators. Lifts and escalators, yes? I lost 5,000 euros, 5,030 or 40 euros in one trade in 2011. Do I break a sweat of that trade now? I made more money than that in the last 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. So don't let age define your investment goals and your future. If you're younger, now is the time to take action. The older you get, the more risk you should be avoiding and be going on the safer side. But when you're younger, without any kids, focus more. Asset allocation. So that's a pizza. I've had my 2 slices. I was really hungry. The rest are for all yours to take. Stocks, trading, bonds, gold. Where is it? Africans love their gold, don't they? But guess what, guys? We Indians beat you. Do you know how much gold India has? Indian women alone. 11% of the world's gold is with Indian women in their households. 11% of the world's gold, not just India. 11%. That's how much Indians love their gold. Dhanteras, it's a festival. One thing that we always do, buy gold. So that's what that is. Real estate, funds, S&P 500 index fund, that's your fund. Different returns, different types of, what type of investor are you? So please analyze this chart, write it down, so you have a number, you know what you should be focusing on. Should you focus on risky investments or riskless investments? And then focus on what type of a portfolio do you want, considering these are the charts. The balanced portfolio gives 8%. A balanced portfolio is a balanced portfolio of equities, bonds, everything. Whereas a growth and aggressive growth is your tech stocks. Apple, Google, Amazon, these are all your tech stocks. That's your aggressive growth. Sometimes as high as 136%, sometimes as low as negative 61%. Whereas the balance is pretty much an average. Not too high of a jump, not too low of a jump. Make sense? So write it down. And I'm leading up to something, so write down what type of investor you are, and write down what kind of portfolio do you want. Do you want a conservative, do you want a balance, do you want a growth, or do you want an aggressive growth? Write it down, take a couple of minutes. Google, which is now Alphabet, was $500 or $600 back in 2010 or 2011 per share. That was before they had the stock split and everything. I told a really good friend of mine, childhood friend, known him for 22 years, buy that. And guess what he says to me? Guess. Too expensive. Google was as high as $3,000 per share. From 500 to 3,000 in the span of 10 years. Too expensive? Is it too expensive? No. Did he lose an opportunity? And guess what, guys? Some people just don't learn. COVID, I call him, have you bought stocks? No, he's got money. He works at Big Four. And now he's working in Citibank. If he probably listens to this, he's going to kill me. But he works at Big Four. He used to work at Big Four, now works at Citibank. He's on at least 4,000 euros a month after tax salary. Did you invest during COVID? Some people just don't learn. Now he's got 50,000 euros in his bank account. 50 bloody thousand euros in his bank account. He just doesn't want to take risk. And guess what? Next year that 50,000 will be worth how much?
45.
Thank you. Because he's losing money on inflation. So A, the government takes a lot of your money on tax. B, your stupidity takes a lot of money from you. Investment risk, security shares, pyramid with risk. The higher the risk, the higher the return, but not everybody is able to take those higher risks. Most people fall under this category. Even if you're here, you're doing good. If you go here, you have to be really experienced. This is where I lost my 5,000 euros on one trade, derivatives. And guess what, guys? I just don't learn, don't I? 2021, COVID lockdown. I was like, no, I'll go into options again. Even though I lost 5,000 euros back in 2011, I was like, well, why not? I lost some more money, but guess what? I had something to do. Others I would have shot myself. Lockdowns was a killer. So this is what it is all about. Focus. Start taking some risk. If you're young, start taking risk. Who's this lovely gentleman here? Warren Buffett. Do you know how much money he makes just by dividends alone? What are dividends, by the way? I don't want to pick on you again and again. What's a dividend, sir?
Exactly, I don't know.
Okay, no worries. Does anybody here know? Sorry, can you help us out?
Idea.
Henry sir will be able to help us out. Okay, right, I have to come back to you. What's a dividend?
They're earning on the investments you've made. They're earnings on the investments you've made in a company.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello.
Sorry.
Return you get from shares, boss.
Yes. So some companies give you a dividend. It's basically an incentive for owning that stock, that share that you have. Aviva, an insurance company in this country, gives roughly about 6 to 7% per year. Is it beating inflation? Hell no. But still, something is better than nothing. Warren Buffett, because he's been investing in stocks since the age of 11 and he's 87 or 88 or 89 years old, God knows whatever, he's in a different league altogether, he makes $118 a second. Or per year, $3,527,813,600. $3 billion just by sleeping, guys. He goes to bed at night, okay, and he makes 9 million a day, 9.6 million a day. That's just dividends. He's got shares in Coca-Cola. We all know we're a Coke. CEO of Coca-Cola made 11 million. Warren Buffett makes 600 million from dividends alone. So be an investor, not a worker. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, can we get to this stage? Probably not, to be very honest with you guys. Because what he has, we don't have. But can we get to somewhere closer? Again, probably not. Not 3 billion a year, but I hope you do. And please will tell me how you do it. I certainly want to do it. But still, 3 billion a year is a big ask. But even if you're making your expenses, your day-to-day expenses just by dividend alone, trust me guys, you're doing something amazing. So let's say you're spending 2,000 a month. You need 2,000 a month to live on in this country, in this city. Be it your bills, your car payments, your food, your housing, everything. And if you can make 2,000 a month on dividends alone, by passive income, you're doing amazing. That means whatever you earn extra, by a salary, investments, whatever, it's savings, pure and pure savings. So if you want to go on a holiday, focus on investing first, focus on making money, then spending money. If you want to buy that car, the fancy BMW or Mercedes or Audi that you see, you want to buy that car, make sure you have enough money invested that the income that you're generating from those investments are paying for your returns. Make sense? Financial planning. What is the benefit of financial planning? Why do people plan? Who can tell you, why do people plan? If I need to go to Indonesia, I do a lot of business in Indonesia, so if I need to go to Indonesia, can I just pick up my passport and go? Actually, I have done that in the past, guys, but I'm just mean. But you need to plan, yes? Yes?
Yes.
So that is what financial planning is all about. You need to plan. Why do we need to plan? To attain your personal financial goals. I've got a number in my mind, but guess what? Every bloody year it changes. Because guess what? I'm a capitalist and I get greedy. Why? Because I'm just human. I am. Are you not a human? My younger brother said to me the other day, I don't need to make that kind of money. Why would I need money? I'm just happy. Me and my dad was just laughing. Probably one of the few idiots that I know that come out, I don't need money. If I offer you $1 million pounds today, would you take it? Why? It's my money. But there you go, you would take it. If I give you a blank check today, would you take it? Of course, with a signature on, yes, of course. I like this technicality. So guys, be opportunistic. Grab the opportunity. Sense of freedom. If you have money, you get access to other things. Bugatti. Who here loves cars? Bugatti, Veyron, Chiron, Super Sport? Bugatti Chiron Super Sport is about roughly £5.5 million pounds. And guess what? If I have £6 million pounds right now, can I buy that car? No. Bugatti won't sell it to me. Ferrari, let's go somewhere cheaper. £2 million pounds. If the latest edition of Ferrari when it came out, I think it was like 2 million, 2.1 million pounds. Were they selling it to me? Would they sell it to me? Because I need to own a Ferrari before I could buy their exclusive edition. So when you start making more money, then you start realizing, damn, other people are making more money. That greed comes into play. But guess what? If you want to become rich, you have to be greedy. It's just a sad reality of life, but it is what it is. Maintain budgets and plan your tax expenses. Who here has got a really good accountant? This is my friend, has got a really good accountant. My friend here in the next 10 years is a billionaire. Mark my words. Clap for him, guys. Well done, you're doing something right. Start budgeting. Start somewhere small. Start investing, start budgeting. That's how much money I make, that's how much money I'm going to spend, that's how much money I'm going to, for my basic needs, wants, discretionary spending. They teach us that in schools. Something simple. Start it now. Now's the time. Debt snowball. Does anybody know what that is? What's a snowball? Do you know the beauty of debt is those who understand it earn, those who don't pay. Which one are you? Most probably the one who pays, unfortunately. Because the problem with debt is average interest rate in the UK on a credit card is what, 18 to 20% per year? But we're only making 10% in the stock market. It all accumulates. Monthly repayments, they all add up. But if you know how to utilize debt properly, by investing in everything, borrowing money and so on and so forth, property, it's a mortgage. But what do? We get a mortgage, it's a debt, we invest, we make some money after a few years, we sell the property, we get positive equity. So that is what debt snowball is. Start paying your debts. The cheapest interest, first, pay that debt off. The human mindset will be like, oh, I have to pay 15% on this debt and 10% on the other one, I'll start paying the 15% first. No. Pay the smallest one first. Get it out of the way. Make sense? What's this? What car is this? Huh? A Lambo. Lamborghini Aventador. Can anybody tell me if that person is financially secure? Yeah? Do you know why he's financially secure? He's what? It's not the fact that he's fishing. It's the fact that he's sitting on a 280,000 pound car and fishing. And guess what? After COVID, used car prices have gone up over the roof. That 280,000 pound car is more than 250 now. My brother sent me a link of this Mercedes, really old Mercedes. It was 20,000 pounds before COVID. And he's like, we should invest in this. I was like, it's an asset class that I want to go into, but I was like, not now. That same car is more than 45,000 pounds now. So am I stupid for losing out? I am indeed. But that's what this person is doing. He's so smart, he's financially secure, he's got his money, he doesn't care if this car is 350, 400,000 pounds. He's fishing. What's important to him? What's important to him? Fishing is, if he loses, if he damages this glass, it's worth much more than that fishing. But it's the time. Why do people fly business class? Business class is roughly four times as more expensive than economy, and first is roughly 9 times more expensive than economy. But why do people fly business?
Probably to meet business-minded people, I think.
Yes, no, but what else?
For the comfort.
Yes, no, but one more thing. Most important thing. Most people who fly business want to arrive fresh. If I'm going all the way to China or Indonesia for a meeting, I want to arrive fresh. Business class gives me benefits of a lounge at the airport. I can have a shower. If I'm going to Indonesia, I flew business in last August to Indonesia. I had a 17-hour layover in Abu Dhabi. I took a shower at the airport. I changed my clothes. I had amazing food at the lounge. I did some work at the lounge. Had a Zoom meeting to attend to. So I was utilizing my time, but when I arrived in Jakarta, I was box fresh. So that's what business class does to you. Make sense?
Yeah.
Most people want to sleep. Guess what? That's the only time when those people can sleep. In their flight. I once attended a seminar when I was in China. This particular gentleman flew from the UK on a 12-hour direct flight from Heathrow to Shanghai. He's like, the 6 hours that I slept in the plane were the only 6 hours of sleep I had in the last 4 days. So they need to sleep. And that's when they sleep. They don't care about food in the plane. Most people in the economy, by the time the food comes to our table, but business class travelers, because they eat at the lounge. They don't care about the food, they just want to bloody sleep. So that's that. Busy equals successful. I have so many friends, my age guys. I give them a call on WhatsApp. It's always calling, never ringing. Guess what? What do? They pretend to be busy. Make 1/10 of what I make. Not bragging, sorry if I am. 1/10 of what I make. But they're always pretending to be busy. Are they successful? I'm sure they are in their own right. But busy does not equal successful. It's working smart, not
How?
thank you so much. It's working smart. By 2:20, he's just sitting by his car, having his beer or whatever. And some people, by 2 a.m., they're studying, they're working. I go to bed by most nights by 11. Wake up at 7, 6. Very seldom I'm up very late at night. Because I love my beauty sleep. A. B. What's the point? I get my work done in the morning. I'm an early bird. Some people work until 4 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning. What? What are you doing? Your brain's not operating. Why are you operating? Poor versus rich mindset. Poor people, I can't afford this. One car that I really like is Bentley Mulsanne, their stock production of that. It used to be £349,000 and 950. That's the price. Every time I'm in Mayfair, I walk by the showroom, the dealership, one day. One day. That's the mindset you should have. So Melody is teaching you all about becoming a billionaire. Melody is teaching you about how to make money. I'm bloody telling you how to invest your money and how to make your money more money. Make sense? Have the mindset, I can do this rather than I can't do this. A lot of people, how can they afford this? What phone do you use, ma'am? Samsung. Are you happy with your phone?
At the moment, yes.
At the moment, yes. Do you want to get a newer phone?
Oh, no.
Okay. Wrong person I chose, I guess. I'm just kidding. But okay. Is there anything that you would like to get in the next 5 years? Anything? Do I have what I needed 10 years ago? Trust me, thanks to God I have more than what I needed 10 years ago. But is it enough? Unfortunately not. I'm such a greedy ass person. You know, Mahatma Gandhi said back in 1800s, there's sufficiency in this world for a man's need, but not for a man's greed. But unfortunately, we're all greedy human beings. And it's good to be greedy, but that's how you become rich. So the mindset should be, I can do this rather than I can't. Pyramid. This is not a Ponzi scheme, this is not a pyramid scheme. Start from here. Action, manage, growth, automation. So YouTube automation, FBA, drop shipping. This is all in this. Magic number. You all have a pen and paper. Write down the amount of money that you feel that you need in the next 5 years. Have a magic number in your head. Write it down. Be it $1 million, 2 million, 5 million, even £100,000. 5 years. Write that number down, please, everybody. And that's your magic number. And I'll just say that 10 years ago I had a magic number. The number keeps changing. Because again, I'm such a greedy ass person. 10 years ago when I was studying for my bachelor's, actually no, it was more than that, right? I keep lying to myself, I'm getting older and older. But yeah, 13 years ago when I was studying for my bachelor's, I was living in a flat with a Spanish guy. And we were talking about cars. He's like, do you want this car? We were talking about BMW per se, and he said, when do you expect that you can have this car by? I was like, 10 years. He's like, 5 years? I was like, nah, not 5 years. I'll give myself a realistic goal. Guess what, guys? Last April 2022, what did I get? Guess. I got a BMW for myself. So in 10 years, did I achieve my goal? Yes. He's my man. Yes. So have a goal in your mind and do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Only you have to do it for yourself. You got a magic number? Yeah, note it down. Go home and sleep on it tonight. Go home and sleep on that number. Don't forget about that number. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Who's read the book? My future millionaire. Billionaire. Most people, they make some money, they spend that money. Most people, they make some money, they focus on liabilities, mortgages, car loans. The rich people buy assets. What do they do? What do they do? Buy assets. What do those assets pay for? Their liabilities. So my car, who paid for that? Thank you. My investments. And dividends. And all sorts of other things as well. But that's what it is all about. Did I go into that dealership and paid for the car myself? Yes, I did. But it was because of my hard work in the last 10 years that I was able to afford to buy that car. Money personality, I feel like we're running out of time, so I'm just going to be very quick. Hoarder, spender, planner, dreamer, merger, separatist, risk taker, risk avoider. Read and write down what kind of person you are. Take a picture of this if you can, please. Go home and sleep on it. And start focusing as to what kind of a person you are, what kind of investor you are. A lot of people are hoarders. A lot of people from Africa, from India, they just like to hoard money under the mattress. Is that good enough? No. No. Most people are risk avoiders. Is that good enough? No. I'm sure you must have guessed by now what kind of person I am. A risk taker. I'm such a stupid person, to be very honest. 2018, 7 p.m. I was in China again. 7 p.m. I had to go to Singapore that night. 7 p.m. I booked a flight. 7:30 I leave for the airport. 9 p.m. I was on a flight to Singapore. 2 a.m. I got to Singapore for a 9 o'clock morning meeting the next day. So 2 I got there. I got to the airport. To my hotel from the airport. Took my shoes off, threw them in some corner. Had my suit all nicely, I was all dry clean, so just carefully laid out. Went to sleep. Woke up next morning, showered and everything for my morning meeting. I was in Malaysia, flying from Kuala Lumpur back to Shanghai. Had a it was one of those red-eye flights. 2 a.m. in the morning, got to Shanghai at 7 a.m. Had a morning meeting at 9 in the office. That's the mindset you should have. Work hard, work smart. Risk taker. Be ready to go. So I gave everybody has their number on the piece of paper in the next 5 years. You have a number, so that's the time horizon. Is it a short-term, long-term, or medium-term goal? Focus on that. Short-term is anywhere from 1 to 2 years. Medium is from 2 to 5. Anything over 6 plus years, that's a long-term goal. Make it a part of your budget. Start saving. Start with an emergency savings account. Most of you should have at least 6 months of your income in a savings account. At least 6 months of your income. That's where you start off from, plan A. If you don't have 6 months of savings in your bank account, you're doing something wrong. Save to make most purchases. So instead of just spending, you gotta decide your 2000 and buy the latest iPhone for 1500. Bloody well save. Good debt, bad debt, and poor debt. Can anybody tell me what this is? American Express Gold. Now, when I go pay for this, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you must be super rich that you have an American Express Gold." Or, "How much do you earn to get something like this?" Or, "What's your credit score?" Or, "What kind of job do you do?" Do you know why I have this card? Sorry? Yes, but one more thing. I love to travel. This pays for everything. The points, credit card points. You see TikTokers all the time boasting about TikTok points? That's how you accumulate credit card points. You get a credit card that has points, you transfer those points for your upgrades to business class. So those business classes guys, they pay for them, for themselves. So what they spend. So every time we buy a coffee, £3, 3 points. Every time I'm at a business meeting, points. Got roughly about 70,000 points at the moment. And first class upgrade is something like 95,000 points. So as soon as I get 95, I'm going to fly first class. Experian.co.uk, that's where you get your credit report. Pay for it, get it, learn how to improve your credit score. So what is wealth? It's when you have multiple income streams. So as Melanie mentioned, money is not about just earning money and spending money. It's also about not having to focus, not having to think about where to spend it on. So you don't have to deprive yourself. Investments to defer taxes. Do you know how much cash Apple, the company, has? More than $2 trillion in their offshore accounts. 2 trillion in their offshore accounts. But why do they have their offshore account? To defer taxes. Thanks to Trump's policy of deferring taxes, America has brilliant policy which all these major conglomerates utilize, Amazon, Facebook, to defer taxes. Tax havens. So anybody who has a little bit of money, offshore. It's not just for the rich people, guys. You can open up an offshore company for £2,000. Saving your way to true wealth is a touch game. The key to focus on earning more dollars, more pounds, euros, and then investing as much as possible. It's about financial freedom. I was able to give myself, be here today, because I feel like I owe it back to the society that I grew up in. B, I want to teach other people. C, it's something that I'm like, why not? A friend is asking me for help or for them to speak. Why would I not do it for a friend? And D, it's all about teaching people as to what is financial freedom. I feel like everybody should have a certain level of mindset and a goal to follow. And that's how you do it, guys. Thank you so much. Any questions? Happy to answer.
Later stages of our lives, but we're looking at, I want my son to be 25 and be a millionaire, right, and have things paid for. So what's the best strategy to get this? Thank you.
So you're saying as a father, or you're saying from a point of building wealth for creating a legacy?
Both sides.
Both. In terms of creating a legacy, there's no such thing as what's the fastest way. It's all about persistence and consistency. Start with something small, £100 a month, open up a bank account for that kid, start saving £100 a month. By the time the kid is born, until he reaches the age of 18, 19 years of age, there's going to be a huge lump sum in that bank account. That's one of the options. The other thing, start investing in property, because property is an asset class that you can then pass it on to your kids. And that is creating generational wealth. If you have stocks, who's to say that your kid might be able to manage those stocks? Most probably not. But if you give him a property, he will be able to take care of that. I hope so, he or she. And if you give, for example, something else such as a car, they probably won't understand or appreciate it. So property is the easiest way. Cash, and educate that kid from a very young age. If you don't educate your kid, then no matter how much money you leave behind, he's going to eat it all. So that's the quickest answer.
But I think I'm just going to ask about, I mean, I know time is gone, but ISA, talking about ISA for children.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of us, our children are just like the reason why most of us even travel to this country. We like the country too, but like our children are like one of the reasons. So ISA, I hear about ISA a lot. Can you talk about it, you know, and how we can use that for our children in terms of saving? I think there's something like that.
Yeah, so ISAs for kids or even for older people, ISAs are tax saving mechanism in terms of the first, I think it's something like £12,000 that you don't pay a tax on. And it's a great way of people who don't understand how to invest or who don't know how to invest. It's a great way of saving because an ISAs are then, it's a collective investment scheme where everything is pulled into one and then the brokerage house or your bank or whatever, they invest for you. So it's a short way of earning some money. Open up an ISA account for those kids, a junior ISA is what it's called, that you're referring to. Open that up. Again, it all starts from compound interest. Start investing young for that kid and very small amount, 50 to 100 pounds. So that may be night out that you might have with your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. Maybe let that go for 1 week and put that money in that ISA. And that's a great way for those kids. Because again, how old is this gentleman here, this young boy? 4 years old. By the time he's 18, he's got 14 years. If his father starts investing £100 a month, that's £1,200 per year, compound interest of 8 to 10%, it's all compounding. By the time he's 18, he's going to thank his dad. Anybody else?